everyone, FusedVR coming at ya.
Hassan here.
And today, so stoked to be showing you guys Google Earth VR using the Unity World SDK and STEAMVR with flying. And you can see here we already have Unity up and running, and we have the HTC Vive here.
Yeah,
nice and pretty. Showing
Lady Liberty.
Lady Liberty. So let me go ahead and jump into VR to show you. Or do you want to go jump into VR?
No, you do it.
Alright.
Yeah, we're really stoked about this. As you can tell, we're on a hot streak of combining the real world with VR, whether it be AR or now Unity's World SDK.
So, I mean, I'll look around. It's not the most perfect thing. One of the things you have to do, unfortunately, is actually limit the far plane. Usually you want to set the far plane, or Unity defaults to setting the far plane at about 1,000. I've set this one to 2,000, but I think the World SDK actually prefers that you use about 6,000. And unfortunately, you might be able to see it here. It's like if you turn your head in some directions, you'll see a little of that clipping plane in action.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but at the same time, you get to see, I mean, if you're just looking at the Statue of Liberty here, it's not the worst thing in the world. Alright, so all I have to do here is just press the triggers, and I go in the direction that my controllers are pointing. So you can see that here, get to fly around. The nice part about this SDK also, and maybe I'll fly over here to show that off, is that it loads things that are outside of your field of view. So once it gets into your field of view, then it starts loading it, which is like a really nice feature that helps with performance. And so you can keep flying indefinitely. I'll show a little tweak of what I had to do in the code to make that work, because it doesn't come by default, unfortunately. There's a slight bug in the World SDK. But I'll show you where you can fix that if you're trying it for yourself. And I'll also mention here, if you want to follow along or if you want the project, that's on GitHub. There's a link in the description. Go check that out and just play around with it yourself. It's really fun. So to start with here, the main scene is this world flying scene. And we really only have one script, which is this flying script. I'll go ahead and open that up right now. I mean, you can see it in the inspector while that loads. But really, this is a pretty much identical script from the one we got from the Flying Superman one, which was about probably more, like maybe 5 or 6 months ago. We did that one. We also did an Unreal version, so you can go check those videos out also. Let me go ahead and pull this. Here we go. But, I mean, really all it is you get the transforms of the left and right controller. You have a Boolean to detect whether you're flying or not. You also want the head transform to basically act as a center point of a frame of reference. You can see an update. We just check to make sure it's active. Then we go ahead and get the input. This is using the old version. If you're using VRTK, this part here is actually a lot simpler because you can use the SDK bridge, which is super nice. And then here's like the real code that really lets you do the flying. So you can see here, we just take the vector from my left hand and my head, and then the right hand to my head, and then we add those two together to get one vector that's pointed straight in whatever direction you want to go. So really simple, and the last part is we just add that to our camera rig transform. The one assumption I have here is that this sits on the camera rig, so keep that in mind, and we can actually see that in Unity. Here we go. It's sitting right here on our camera rig. So this would actually work on any game object, but then it just moves that game object as opposed to yourself, which is kind of the point of flying. And then, so that's pretty much all there is to flying. The next step here is actually using the World SDK. So for that, you can see here I've already imported that in. You can get it off the asset store, which is kind of nice. If we actually go to the asset store now, type in World, you'll see that we have the World Unity SDK. It's actually featured because it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago now that they promoted it on the Unity blog, and as more of like a partnership. It is supposed to be a separate company that is running the World SDK, but it's free. It's really easy to use, so we'll show you how to dive into that. Yeah, that's the World SDK, and to actually use it, you need to go to World's website. So you can go here to world3d.com. There's also a link to that in the description, so you can go check it out. And pretty much you just need to log in, and once you do, you'll need to set up an API key. You can see here that we have our create new API key. After the stream, I am going to delete this key, so you won't be able to use it. You'll need to create your own. I don't know if there's any particular reason, but just in case, it's always better for you to create your own key. So, but this is the key we're going to be using. Here inside of Unity, you'll see that there's a world map game or a script, and you can just put your API key in here, and that will give you all these camera view settings that you'll need to actually set it up. And the cool part here is you can actually go ahead and set your latitude and longitude. So yeah, that's that part. I'm going to go ahead and close the asset store. And yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere. As you saw in the preview, you can go Golden Gate, you can go Eiffel Tower, you can go Statue of Liberty. Really, the only places I was having issues with was in China. I tried to go to the Great Wall of China, that didn't work. Tried to go to Tokyo, that also didn't work. I wasn't sure why. I don't know if it's like not part of the API or if it's not actually supported. But that's something to keep in mind. We can try it out if you guys have ideas on why that's not working. So yeah, that's using the API in and of itself. And the only other thing would be, and so that's pretty much just using the API. Let me go ahead and dive into the code fix that I did. So I'll go to edit script. There's a lot of code in here. It's all open source, which is really nice. And if we just keep going down, you can see there's an API create. There's the instance, and the API is really what allows it to build the world. In particular, this is what is actually enabling us to basically build out the world as we move around the scene. And that was the part that was broken. If it works if you use the main camera or their example scenes, but it doesn't work if you actually go ahead and use your camera rig or any other types of cameras. And the reason for it is it has like an assert check for whether or not your position is 0, and that is the main problem for this. So let's go ahead and actually, I'll show you where the code was. It's actually buried in a lot of these stream resources from camera. Keep going, stream camera. The neat part about this is they have an ECEF. I actually don't know what it stands for now that I think about it, but that's their internal coordinate system, and then you can map that over to Unity's, which is what they use here. You can actually see they commented out the if because it really only supports 2 types of coordinate systems. And yeah, so that's this part of the code here. And specifically, again, we need to go in further diving into stream resources from camera. They have a lot of these different methods here. And this is the code that I changed to make this actually work. Specifically what it was doing, and this was the annoying part, was it was doing an assert, which basically means if you don't pass this Boolean check, then it's just going to error out and it won't go through the rest of the code. So that means it doesn't actually end up loading the rest of your world, which is just annoying. Instead, what you can do is you want to do the check so that to make sure that you're actually hitting the position or whatever you say it is. But instead of doing an equals equals, what you'll want to do is just check if it's like a really, really tiny small 0.001, because even rotations will cause it to not be 0, and that's just floating point imprecision. It sucks, but it is what it is. So just doing a less than check will really help you out. You can do it as an assert. I don't really see why you would want to. Just do it. A log error helps out just the same, and it doesn't crash your program, which is nice. And then the rest of the code stays the same. We can also dive into the update. You can see that here. So this is the update. It's basically just calculates the planes of where your camera is, and if you are able to see further out than what is ever loaded, then it brings in that content so that whenever you're flying around, it just keeps on loading that content and deleting content that's behind you. So that's really nice too. Actually, let me go ahead and show that within the scene view. Let's go here, pull up, grab. Oops, I need to remove maximize on play. Alright, so let's go ahead and zoom out a lot more, and then click the camera rig. So let's that loads. Where are we in the... Oh, we're currently stuck inside. Let me fly out so that you can... And ideally, what should end up happening is that ocean that's behind us should end up floating. And I think right now we can't even see it. So specifically, it should be that part, unless I broke something, which is very well possible. No, not getting errors. Let me try. So what's interesting? So let's try this one more time. Unfortunately, the SDK, it's not perfect. There you go. You can see that it's loading. There, yeah, okay. I don't know what happened, and I guess it lost its internet connection, but you can see now in the scene view, it's dynamically loading in content, which is really nice. Let me see if I can show you deleting it. Oh, interesting. So whenever it loses the SteamVR tracking for just a second, it stops. That's bizarre. But yeah, there it is. Okay, so yeah. So it deletes it whenever you don't look at it, which is, when it works nicely. And let's see. So the interesting part right now is it doesn't delete the stuff behind it, which is interesting. And I lost tracking again. Okay, at least it kept it this time. And it might also just be for caching purposes. You can see here that it actually keeps stuff that's close enough by, or that your position is actually on. So that's actually really convenient too. And if I look up, where's up? Up is about. Let's actually go. If I try flying up, what you'll end up noticing. All right, so that's the ocean. There we go. So yeah. Now, yeah, I guess it's basically anything that you could possibly see. It shows if we fly high enough, there's actually no map, and all of a sudden, it just instantly loads that. So that's really neat. All right. So where's a good place we should go? That's not the Statue of Liberty.
Well, first, we have one request from M4 Ryush.
Okay.
Just wants a high-level overview of the setup of the scene. Again, that's M4.
Yeah. So the way I did this is in the World API. I actually just, the best way I feel like to actually understand what's going on is just try out the demos. So I checked out, yeah, this one, camera transition, and basically I just got this this tangent basis. I think originally what it just ends up loading is California. Oh no, this might be different. Specifically San Francisco. And so you look at it, you realize that there's just one game object that actually is in these examples that you can use. So I just ended up copying that over to any scene that I wanted. I just created my own. Once I did that, I realized that, oh wait, it's not actually loading things. So then that's when I went debugging through that code here to actually fix that. But really all it is just get their game object and use it. It's really that simple, and that's kind of the beauties of this SDK. It's really, really easy to use. Oh, and I should also mention that you do need the API key. Nothing will show up if you don't. So that's another thing to do. So it's just a step-by-step iterative process, starting with the examples to really dive into how you can actually use it. Does that answer it? Or let me know. Let me know if it answers it. There's a lag in the live chat. Oh, and the other thing that you can do is it doesn't give you a lighting direction. So what you'll need to do, especially, you'll see it's kind of janky in the Statue of Liberty scene because of this dark setting. So what I would actually do is go ahead and hit play and just tweak the lighting however you want. So in this case, we're like emulating the sun, which doesn't really make any sense. I'll go ahead and, yeah, unfortunately it does not like when the camera rig is initially turned off. Let's go ahead and do that, and yeah, you can just like rotate this however you want to kind of get the shadow effects that you need for whatever scene you want. You can also just turn it off and then just use the ambient lighting from your skybox. You can also swap out skyboxes. It's really flexible from that perspective, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, we can play around with this a lot more. We're probably going to get eMcNeil in probably 10-15 minutes. Another thing you might want to do is what Google Earth does, which is a vignetting effect. And that's really, 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 really valuable. So I'm going to show you really quick let's go to YouTube. Okay, that's caps. And let's go to motion sickness. I don't know if this actually shows up now that I think about it. VR. I need to put VR in here. There it is. So if you check out this tutorial, all it does really is just kind of walk you through how you can create a vignetting effect. And with a vignetting effect, basically that'll help alleviate the motion sickness. That's what Google Earth does. They do it in a slightly more advanced way by using your depth buffer in the camera to kind of get a flat pixel value for just what the color of the vignette should look like, but it's really easy to use. So let me see if I can find it within the video in and of itself.
Divided by time. Thing that we wanted to
do there it is.
So I'm just
So this is what it looks like.
view, and we need
Starting
to
in
create
Unity 5.6, that
variables.
pipeline changed,
We're gonna-
and I mean, it is what it is. It's actually, I think, a little better now, although I think it's a little more complicated to use. So let me know if you want to see a video on that. Post-processing is really cool. It does get a little more complicated to use, as I mentioned, because of the asset store integration. I think they could have better integrated that within Unity, but I think they'll work on that. That's for sure. Was there anything else?
So we have, how do you change the latitude and longitude?
Yep.
And then also, can you add colliders to stuff?
Yep.
What's the cost?
The cost is pretty heavy. Even for so latitude, longitude, you can see here on that game object. There's a world map. You can change it wherever you want. If there's a place you want to go, I can try pulling that up right now. You can see here there are also collision settings. As I mentioned before, even in the example scenes, what they use is a far plane on their cameras. Let's see if I can pull that up. They use a far plane here of 6,000, so 4,000 more than what I have it set to. I noticed a big FPS drop when you brought it to 6,000. The reason being it adds in a lot more meshes, and we actually, let's go ahead. Let's check the stats on this really quick. So I'm pull up the stats. You can see, so we're looking at nothing right now. We have 157K. That's starting to go up to 700K. And if I zoom out even more, let's go ahead and pull ourselves up here. What does the stats look at right now? I can probably pull this up right here. So you can also pull this. Oh, I can't even read. That is still 700K. Okay, but yeah. If we up this far plane to 6,000, and hopefully I don't crash Unity. Oh, I might have already crashed it. Whoops. Let's bring that back down.
I got one more when you're ready.
Okay, that's better. I think I accidentally crashed it when I went to 6,000 or something. It was not loading. But yeah, you don't want to go to 6,000 because that hits the performance. Colliders might be a little better because that runs on the CPU, not the GPU. So you might have a little luck with physics simulations like that. But I haven't actually tried it out because I realized I had to dial back down the performance anyways. So that's something to keep in mind too. What's the other one?
Alright, I have a question for you. What did the Zen master say to the hot dog vendor?
The Zen master say to the hot dog vendor?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the pun here?
Make me one with everything.
What?
Just think about it.
Make me one. I don't know enough about Zen masters now. I think that's what it's revealing. Or I don't know enough about hot dogs because I
The
don't.
Zen master wants to be one
Oh my god.
with everything.
That's so bad.
We did that to test audio. It was a ploy to try to make us laugh.
Oh god. That's so. Well, now that you explain it, but that's bad. That's just bad. Okay. Was there one more, or was that?
No. So did we talk about latitude, longitude?
Yeah. I mean, was there anyone who wanted a specific one?
Well, we don't know if we can go to these places, but people mentioned anywhere in New Zealand.
Oh,
the Great Wall.
let's try New Zealand.
The Great Wall could be cool.
I tried the Great Wall. That's actually what I wanted to put in the That's what I wanted to put in the promo trailer, but it didn't work, which was sad. So this is 40. So let's go here. So if If I remember correctly, okay, so it should be -40. So south, so north and east are positive, south and west are negative, is how this implements it. 174.88. Assuming I did that right. Let's see if it loads. We're in the ocean.
We have also a lat launch request.
Alright. Except I don't see anything here. This is what happened with the Great Wall of China. I just loaded the ocean, but I have no idea where the land is.
Global warming.
It's predicting the future. There we go. Oh, God. What's the lat long request?
-37 for lat.
Okay.
And then launch is 175.
175. So, is that also in Asia?
That's supposed to actually be the Hobbiton set in New Zealand.
Oh, that's also. Yeah. Murph. Doesn't load it. See my shadows. That's nice. Let's try flying around and see if.
Yeah, this looks like ocean.
Yeah, for whatever reason, all of China, all of Asia, it just loads ocean.
Okay.
Whenever it loads the US, Canada, Europe even works. But I think there's like some cutoff point where it stops working for whatever reason. And that just sucks.
Well,
Cause
we could try a cool United States location that we didn't try.
what's up?
Do we need it to be a city?
Nah, just a lot long.
Grand Canyon would be cool.
Ooh. Let's see if they have
Oh,
that.
here someone provided one.
Okay.
33 for lat, -84 for longitude.
Negative-
Stone Mountain? I don't know.
-84?
Yeah.
So that's 4. Negative, yeah, I think at some point it just flips over.
I don't know what Stone Mountain is though. Is that in the United States?
Or did I do that math wrong? Is it 170 something?
Stone Mountain is it? Oh, it's in Georgia.
Stone
I
Mountain.
think somebody might be giving us their hometown. Let me
Alright,
see the Grand Canyon.
so 3384. 84 west, -84.
I have the Grand Canyon if you want to try that.
Let's try Stone Mountain first. It's loading things.
Oh!
This is Stone Mountain. I don't know if it's the right lat long though.
Alright, Joe.
Where's
Does this like
this?
Stone Mountain?
Well, there's a lot of forest here.
Joe says that he used to live here many years ago.
Ow.
Him and his tent, being one with nature.
This looks very much like nature. I don't see any buildings whatsoever.
This is why he used to live there.
And then he was like, "Wait, I need internet."
A lot of space for room scale.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I don't. Yeah.
Oh
All I
wait,
see
what's over there to the left?
is this?
Yeah, what's that like
Oh, what is this?
orangish or?
Because I didn't put it in exactly. I was like, I don't want to do decimals. Ow. Yeah. Joe, what is this? I see
Yeah, what are we
road.
looking at? Oh, there's a big road there.
Whoosh.
This is cool. I mean, we're just exploring some random place. Oh, there's some buildings.
Whoosh. This is a tiny building. Actually, it's not that tiny. I'm just gigantic.
Keep going. There's more over there.
Joe, explain.
Alright, so now we're seeing the small village that Joe started.
Oh,
while he
nice.
was- I'm completely
Wow.
making this up.
I believe.
Salt Lake City. We're getting lots of requests.
Alright.
now.
We'll do one more. No, we'll do 2 more, and then we'll get E. McNeil on because he messaged us. Give me a lot long.
So we got Salt Lake City 40 for north and
40.
then 111.
Or give me a couple decimals also. 40 what?
40.76
76.
and 111.89.
111.89. Yeah, for whatever reason the US works and China doesn't. We're in the ocean.
Huh.
Is it negative?
No, but so is the north coordinate? Is that
North shit's positive. South is negative.
okay?
So wait, I'll just Google it. Salt Lake City. 40, it's west negative. Alright, so now we shouldn't be in the middle of the ocean. It's loading.
I don't think.
And I should also mention it does it based on height, which is one of the reasons, but it doesn't move the camera rig, which is one of the reasons why I gotta fly up. But I see Salt Lake from underneath it. This is kind of trippy. This is like imagining like what it would be like if Elon Musk got his way with tunnels in LA. It's kind of cool, actually. Oh, we're almost there, I believe. I think I'm in the middle of a building. Whoosh. Nice.
I imagine this is what Salt Lake City would look like. Where's the lake?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Maybe over there? I should also, like, speed this up. I need to add a scaler to the flying.
Yeah, we got a request from Roland to scale it.
Yeah. Alright. Let's, give me like a 10 boost in the script.
Then after that, let's try it one more time to go back to where was it? Stone Mountain, but let's enter in the decimals this time.
Oh, with the decimals? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. This is 10x faster.
I'm a mapping noob. I didn't realize the decimals were so important.
Whoosh! Where are we going?
Where is the lake?
Yeah, where is the lake?
Oh, we got some
We got mountains.
some mountainous stuff here.
I would imagine.
Oh, valley. Nice. I
I
think we're getting further from the lake.
No, but there's water. No, this is city. I don't know where the lake is. I also have no idea what. This is a lake. This is a swimming pool.
Well, it's hard to tell the scale because that's a road right next to it.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
Just throw a salt shaker asset on top of it, and it's the salt.
There you go. All right.
Let's try one more time. Stone Mountain. So lat is 33.805.
33.805.
And longitude's -84.145.
0.145. Alrighty. Whoosh. Ooh.
Oh, I guess that is that the mountain.
This is definitely a stone mountain. It's
great.
It looks like.
It's a mountain.
Whoosh. Whoosh. Oh, I feel like Superman right now.
Just in case you guys are wondering, these are native Unity audio sounds.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
It's not coming from FuseVR or me.
No, absolutely not.
These are part of the Unity Pro package.
Where should I go?
I
I like this lake. I'm gonna just follow the river. Oh no, the river ended.
Yeah,
Darn.
so-
Let's go this way.
Alright, well there I guess we found the stone
We
mountain.
found Stone Mountain. I just kind of that lake is big, but it's like it feels so tiny in Unity when you're flying by it. Google Earth is so cool. All right, so yeah, if there are no other requests, we can get E. McNeil on. Or I'm assuming there are a lot of requests, but we also have to be cognizant of time.
Yeah, I mean I think that there's a lot of requests for like, you know, how do we get real-time weather, how do we add in buildings,
Yeah.
things like that. And that's really the beauty of what we've built here. So like if you just want to fly around the world, we talked about it this week, like Google Earth is the way to go. But if you want to add in stuff, get interactions, weather, buildings that aren't actually there, like you just have this and then you'd have to build on top of it. That could be a little tricky because you would have to know, like based on where you are, to spawn the stuff. So I guess you would track the latitude and longitude, but I think we could close out with that. Like if you wanted to add a building in a certain location that's not actually there, what's one way that could work?
So that's not actually there. Just like I have the camera rig in this scene, like really all you'd have to do is just load up whatever world environment you want and then just place your virtual object there. So like, I mean, it's just a matter of like, just for reference, just like add a cube into your scene, play it so you can get it right in the same virtual position so that you can tweak this and then you'll be good to go. So it's really flexible in that sense, and you can customize it however you want. And that's the kind of the beauty of building within Unity or any game engine, is that you're the programmer, you're the designer, you have the control. So that's really cool. And yeah, so that's a good question. Definitely a good question. So with that, I know there are probably a ton more questions. and we'll try to, Hassan will definitely try to get to them as fast as he can, but let's go ahead and swap to the creator chat, and if you're watching live, you get to see it live, otherwise we'll have the recording on Wednesday, so you can go check that out then, the things we do. So with that, it's been FusedVR,
Hassan.
and E. McNeil, and we're signing
Thanks
out. Awesome. All right, let's go end the stream. Swoop.